What if the very thing you believe is protecting your life is actually the thing quietly destroying it? What if your need to control outcomes, control other people, and control how life unfolds is the very reason you feel anxious, exhausted, or stuck? Because here's the truth most people don't want to face. Your need for control is not giving you peace. It's stealing it. Let's start with something simple but uncomfortable. You are not in control. Not of other people, not of outcomes, not of timing, and not even of most of your thoughts. And yet your entire life might be built around trying to control all of it. You try to control how people see you, how your relationships unfold, your future, your success, your very security. And when things don't go according to plan, you feel it immediately. Tension, frustration, anxiety, because your internal state is tied to whether reality matches your expectations. And most of the time, it doesn't. So why do we do this? Why do we try so hard to control everything? The answer is because control feels like safety. If I can predict it, I can manage it. And if I can manage it, I won't get hurt. And if I won't get hurt, I will be okay. But underneath all of that is fear. Fear of uncertainty, fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. So control becomes your shield. You plan more, you think more, you analyze more, trying to get ahead of every possible outcome. But what's actually happening is this. You're trying to solve emotional insecurity with mental control, and it doesn't work. Control has a cost, and most people don't realize how high that cost is. The more you try to control life, the more anxious you become, because now you're responsible for everything. Every outcome, every reaction, every possibility, and you can't relax. You can't even be present. You can't enjoy what's actually happening because you're too busy trying to manage what might happen. And ironically, the tighter you try to hold it all together, the more fragile you feel and the more fragile your life becomes. At its core, control, simply put, is resistance. It's your way of saying, this moment is not okay. This should be different. This needs to change. And the moment you resist reality, you create suffering because you're literally arguing with what is. Reality is happening one way and your mind is demanding something else. It's almost like a toddler throwing a temper tantrum. And that gap between what is and what you think should be is always where anxiety lives. Most people believe that if they just control things better, they'll finally feel peace. If I just get my life together, if I just fix this relationship, if I achieve this goal, then I'll relax and be happy. But have you noticed that there's never been a time in your life where that's turned out to be true? And even if it does, the peace doesn't last because the mind immediately moves to the next thing to control, the next problem, the next outcome, the next potential threat. So you live in this constant state of almost, I'm almost there, I'm almost secure, I'm almost at peace, but you never actually arrive. So if control is the problem, what's the solution? It's a word called surrender. Now that word can be misunderstood. Surrender doesn't mean waving a white flag or giving up, and it doesn't even mean being passive. It does not mean you stop taking action. Surrender means you release your attachment to how things must unfold. You still act, you still move forward, you still have intentions, but internally, you're not gripping tightly. You're not forcing, you're not trying to control every outcome. You're allowing life to unfold while fully participating in it. When you operate from control, everything feels forced. You push, you overthink, you try to make things happen. But when you shift into surrender, something changes. You still take action, but it's not coming from fear anymore. It's coming from clarity. You're no longer trying to control the result. You're simply showing up fully in the process. And that creates a completely different experience inside you. Less tension, less anxiety, more presence, and more flow. If surrender is so powerful, why is it so difficult? The answer is because it requires trust. And trust is the opposite of control. Control says, I need to make this happen. But trust says, I can handle whatever happens. It's a completely different way of living because now your safety is not coming from your ability to control life. It's coming from your ability to be with life, to face it, to feel it, and to move through it without it needing to be different. When you begin to surrender, you start to notice something. Life becomes lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer carrying the weight of control. You stop overthinking every decision. You stop trying to predict every outcome. You stop exhausting yourself trying to manage everything. And instead, you respond to life as it unfolds, as it happens. There's more space, more ease, more clarity. And ironically, you often get better results because you're no longer acting from fear. You're acting from alignment. Here's the deeper truth. Control is an attempt to feel powerful, but it's actually a sign of powerlessness because it means your peace depends on things outside of you. But surrender, on the other hand, it's real power. because it means no matter what happens, I know I'm going to be okay. Not because I can control it, but because I trust myself to handle it. That is unshakable. So how do you actually do this? It always starts with awareness. Notice where you're trying to control your relationships, your future, your image, your outcomes. And then ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let go? Because that fear is what's driving the control. And instead of trying to eliminate that fear, practice allowing it, feel it, sit with it, let it be there without needing to fix it. And then you take your next step without gripping, without forcing, just moving forward and letting life meet you there. Your need for control has likely been with you for a very long time. It's familiar, it feels safe, but it's also costing you something. Your peace, your presence, your freedom. So the invitation is simple, but not easy. Let go. Not of your goals, not of your life, but of your need to control how it all unfolds. Because the moment you do, everything will change. Thanks for watching this video today. If you get value from my content, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I don't want you to miss future conversations about awareness and emotional freedom and enlightenment. And if you really want to go deeper into the work, head over to my website at keithcrossley.com. I've got additional teachings and resources and coaching options, all designed to help you attain the highest levels of mental and emotional freedom. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.